In this video, we're going to cover how to add your own custom content to your race website. So we see here on our default race website, we have these menu tabs at the top that run from left to right, starting with the race info tab. And then we also have this more tab, which people have to click on to see what else is exposed there. So we're going to add our own custom content, and we're also going to clean up the menu to show you how you can have a nice looking website. So let's flip over to the back end in the race dashboard. We're going to open up the Race tab, go to Race Website, and Custom Sections. So for here, we're going to add our own new content section, and we're going to add a FAQ page. So we're going to name this FAQs. The URL is optional if you want to link somebody to a different website, so we don't need to add that here. Obviously, we want anybody to be able to see this, so we're not going to check that it's participants only. And then in our content, we're going to basically put our cursor in here, and we're going to come up with some frequently asked questions. One is, just for an example, we can be like, how can I support your race sponsors? And so we can just kind of highlight that. We can make this bold to kind of highlight that it's a question. Some people, you can even start like with a Q to what the question is. In this menu here, if I put my cursor at the end and I hold down Shift and hit Enter, it goes directly to the next line where I can say answer and be like, click here to view our sponsors. And then I can easily highlight this and use the link here to put in the link to our sponsors page or something like that. If you put your cursor at the end and just hit the return key without holding down Shift, it's going to start a new section here, and this is basically how we can add another question. How do I change my shirt size? Or anything like that. So in this example, we're going to also show you how to use the custom how-to links in the RunSignup knowledge base to add and help participants with their information. So for here, we're going to hold the Shift key down and hit Enter, and we're going to add an answer. It's like, click here to view a guide on changing your shirt. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open up a new URL, and we're going to go to help.runsignup.com. This can also be navigated to anywhere that you're on the race website or the dashboard. There's an orange help link in the top right, and we'll show that here as well. When you come to our help guide, we do have a list of tutorials for directors, and this is to how you can set up features in the system. We also have tutorials for runners, and this is where you can pick and choose based off of what your race is offering for participants to easily build out a custom FAQ page. So on the tutorials for runners, we have different sections here for how they manage their registration, if you have social groups set up, if you have donations, fundraising, things like that. Even post-race stuff on how to submit and manage virtual results. That's a popular one as well. So we want to let people know how they can update their shirt size, so we'll go ahead and click on this link, and you'll see that we already have a video and content in here. So you can just copy the link in your address bar and link people directly to this, or you can copy and paste your own instructions to kind of brand it to your specific race. So in this example, we're just going to copy the URL in the address bar, and we're going to go back to our custom section, and we're going to highlight the click here area, click on the insert link, and we're going to paste in the URL to our knowledge base and click save, and that's going to update with a link here how to update the shirt size. And we'll just briefly show that again. We'll add a question. How do I submit virtual results? And again, we're going to hit Shift Enter. Click here for a guide on submitting your results. So again, we'll just highlight this, make it bold, do the click here. We're going to go back to our knowledge base portal. I can even type in the word virtual and it'll pull up anything having to do with virtual. Obviously we have director tutorials, so this will show you how to set up virtual results, and then we'll look at the one for submitting and manage virtual results. We can also navigate to this same guide, and you'll see how we're in the tutorials for runners under the post-race section. So if we were in the tutorials for runners area, looking at the different kind of categories here, we see that the post-race option shows how to submit and manage virtual results, and we're back here. So again, we'll click and paste this into our section. So that gives us a little bit of content. Again, you can add whatever kind of questions and answers that you want for your specific race. Another advanced option is if you want to kind of customize the menu option, you can add your own URL here. Again, this is completely optional since people are just linking around anyway. If you wanted to add an attachment, you can, such as a runner's guide, before the race or anything like that. You can upload a PDF or an image. So we're just going to save the page as is, and that's going to give us our first content section. And so again, you'll notice here in the upper right hand side there's that orange help button. That's a quick link to go back to the knowledge base portal, and we're going to view the website to see what it looks like, and that's going to flip us over to the page here. And you'll notice that we added content here. We didn't actually add it as a menu. So when we add stuff as content, it just automatically gets added into your race info page here. This is fine to add it in the race info page, but we want to kind of make it stand out, and I like to kind of make the FAQ page, generally speaking, in the top right hand side. It's generally where people look for self-serve type of options. So let's go back into our race dashboard, and we're going to promote this content section to its own menu. So under the race tab, where we already are, under race website, we're going to go to custom content display, and we're going to see that any of those content sections that we create, by default they're going to appear on the race page, but we want to make it its own menu item and have it stand out. So we just click this option here, display as a new menu item. We'll click save, and let's go back to our race website. We're going to refresh the page, and we're going to see now we have FAQs is a custom section, and it's kind of buried in the middle of the page. And so just for ease of use, and most websites kind of put an FAQ page in the upper right hand side. Let's now clean up this menu and also get rid of this More tab, because we also want to let people know about our refund policy and that we have photos. So we'll go back into the back end, and again you'll witness a theme here. We're under the race tab under race website, and these are all the different options here that you can customize your race menu. I've also done a presentation on how to set up your cover page and domains and things like that, but now we're going to focus on the menu. So we go into the menu order, and you'll notice that you can click and drag and move things around to put things in the right order that you want. And we want the FAQ page, not that it's not important, but we want to put it at the bottom because this is going from left to right since we have the horizontal menu option. But if you'll notice, we kind of have some redundant tabs in here. So we can kind of get rid of the sign up page because we already have that nice call to action button. If you have donations, there will also be a donation tab here that you can get rid of. And we also want to let people know that they have results, photos, things like that. So we want to kind of reorganize some things, and the race information and event information, for most times they're kind of the same thing. So we'll hide the event info in here just to kind of shorten up the menu a little bit. So we'll go ahead and click Save Menu Order here, and our order has been saved. Again, you can just click and drag if you want to move things around in the menu, and it'll automatically save after you click and drag. So we're going to go back to our race website, and now you see the More tab that's still here. Let's click Refresh to see what's changed. And now you notice that the More tab is gone, and we've kind of customized and moved our menu into the FAQ. So that's a very basic way to set up custom content. Now we can kind of go into a more advanced approach to kind of categorize things. So we have these menu tabs, and then you can create your own sub-menu navigation based off of what you want. So in 2021, we feel like that's going to be the year of the hybrid. So maybe we want to break things out into frequently asked questions for the in-person race versus frequently asked questions for the virtual race. So let's kind of customize our menu to kind of split that out. So we'll go back into our race, and again, any type of custom sections that you want to add, you're going to be under the race tab, under race website, and custom sections. And so now we're going to add in-person FAQs, and we'll just add question, where is packet pickup? And again, we're going to hold Shift Enter, we'll add an answer, and we'll just say packet pickup is at the local running store, what have you. So again, we're going to add just a whole list of questions that maybe somebody might ask about the physical race that's coming up. And just to give you an idea, you can add whatever information you want. You can add images to different things, links to directions, whatever you want here in this custom content. So we'll go ahead and just save this information, and now we have a second option here. And because we've added the in-person FAQs, let's add a virtual race FAQs as an option. And so one is like, does this race offer race joy? And we'll hold Shift Enter. Of course. Click here to download the app. So again, you can add whatever information you want for virtual races. We're just kind of setting up custom content sections here. So we'll save this, and we'll notice we now have 3 content sections. But FAQs is the top menu item that's been added as its own information. So we need to go back under the race tab, under race website, custom content display, and we want to kind of make the FAQ its own menu item, which we already have, and now we want to put the in-person and virtual race FAQs underneath of that custom content section that we've done. So this second column here is display as a sub-menu item, and we'll display this under the FAQs tab. So now that both are going to be listed under here, we'll click Save Settings. We'll flip back into our race website and refresh the page. And now you'll notice that there's a little down arrow here for the FAQs, and when you hover over it, it'll show you the in-person FAQs and the virtual race FAQs. But because we've added content to our original FAQ section, that still exists. So even though it's a top-level menu item, we're showing the content here, and then we've also split out the other sections. But if you want to clean this up completely, basically you would just create a section without any content. And so let's go ahead and remove this content in our original FAQ section to kind of clean this up. That way the overall menu item is FAQs, but then it only breaks down into the 2 options here. So let's go and customize that. So again, under the race tab, we're going to go back into our custom sections. You'll notice that there's a little edit icon over here. So we just want FAQs to just be a generic dummy top-level menu item with no content in and of itself. So we'll just highlight everything in here, clean it out so there's no URL, there's no content, like it's basically just a very blank section with the title. And we're just using the title to kind of clean up our menu. So now that we've saved that, we'll go into our race website again, we'll click refresh. Let's go back to our menu, and you'll notice now that the FAQs is the title of the menu, and now we've split this out into in-person FAQs and virtual. That way it's easier for participants to find the information that they want. And you can do this with any type of information. You can highlight your sponsor information this way. You can highlight history about your race or whatever you wanted to promote, the good cause, like where do donations go towards. You can highlight how to become fundraising tips and tricks to give a resource guide to fundraisers. But in this section, we just kind of showed you how to create your own custom content and promote it to a top-level menu item. So hopefully this helps cut down on support questions by building out your race website and branding your page. And that's all we have for today's video.